We've got team coverage this morning in what's being called by police as a case of ruthless human trafficking. At least 9 people are dead and more than 24 others are in critical condition.
We have national security and terrorism expert Dr. David Grantham standing by for a look at the safety concerns associated with human trafficking. But we begin with Kristen Holmes, who is live from San Antonio. Kristen, what can you tell us about the driver and the people found in that 18-wheeler?
Good morning, Russ and Karen. Well, it is still an ongoing investigation, but I will give you what we know so far about this driver. He is 60 years old. He's from Clearwater, Florida, and his name is James Matthew Bradley Jr. He is a truck driver, and we are seeing reports that this may have been one of his first trips. Now, he will appear in court today, and that is when we are expected to learn more about how this came to be, how this horrible tragedy unfolded, what he was doing in Mexico, why he was crossing the border, how he got these people into his truck. So all of that will likely come out today when he is in court this morning. He is being held and he will face these criminal complaints. Now, as for the people within the truck, we do know at one point from authorities that they believe there could have been up to 100 people sandwiched into that truck using surveillance cameras from this Walmart, from surrounding areas. They have seen people getting out of the truck in the parking lot and getting into other cars driving away. Now, no word if they have located any of these other undocumented immigrants that did make it out, that were healthy enough to leave the truck. As we know, so many of them were in such bad shape they couldn't even move based on these conditions that they were facing here. Now, of the men that died, all of them were male. Of the people that died, all of them were male. We have heard that of the people in the hospital, at least 2 of them are as young as 15 years old.
All right, Kristen, thank you so much. Now we want to turn our attention to our safety expert that we have, Dr. David Grantham. Thanks for being with us here this morning, David. And let's talk a little bit about human trafficking. What does it mean for North Texas and for Texas as a whole?
Well, I think one point, it means a lot of things, but I think one point in particular is the fact that while illegal crossings have dropped significantly since the Trump administration came into office, you see here that the human trafficking network is still quite strong. So you have some that were opportunistic who are crossing the border. Those have decreased. However, these networks of human trafficking, these criminal networks, they apparently are still quite strong.
And you're saying that human trafficking is a national security issue, really?
Yeah, I point that out because national security issues relate to networks, and these networks in Latin America in particular are run through human smugglers use networks that are also used by drug cartels. They're also used by other criminal organizations and terrorist organizations. The issue with human trafficking is the fact that this semi, for example, that had all these people in it, it could very well have had someone that had different intentions other than perhaps just coming to the States looking for a different life.
And so really what we saw in San Antonio could just be the tip of the iceberg.
It could. And one thing in particular with human smuggling is these networks are very elaborate. They're very lucrative. And this incident here tells me that these networks are still working quite well, and they can reach all the way into Brazil. An individual has just pled guilty back here in April for transferring people from Afghanistan and Pakistan from Brazil all the way up to the Mexican border.
All right, interesting stuff. Dr. David Grantham, thank you so much. And our coverage of the Texas human trafficking tragedy continues throughout the day. You can look for the charges that the driver is facing following his court appearance. Up-to-the-minute information will also be posted on our website. You can find it all on cbsdfw.com and our Facebook page.